What's up, guys? Philip at Trade Genius. All right, there's been a white paper that was leaked supposedly claiming that Google has reached quantum supremacy. They have a new powerful quantum computer and could potentially crack Bitcoin's encryption and exposing everyone's private key, basically hacking Bitcoin. So I wanted to dive into that in this video and talk about the realities of such a thing and what that means for you long term. So let's dive into this video and check that out.
Trade Genius.
Guys, just a reminder, we're running our fall special, 40% off. So if you want to get individual items in our store, like the Moneymaker Indicator, you can use the fall code, get 40% off, or you can take advantage of these discounted bundles. Again, that's running until Saturday. All right, guys, diving into this article, what Google's quantum computer means for Bitcoin. So basically what happened was a white paper leaked. A document was published and then later deleted by NASA, and it claimed that Google had achieved quantum supremacy. According to Google's researchers, the calculations that normally take more than 10,000 years to perform on its computer was able to do that in about 200 seconds. So obviously the big concern there is, can they crack the SHA-256 encryption that Bitcoin uses? Probably not, but let's dive into the nuts and bolts of this. So Google told Fortune over the weekend that NASA took down the paper because it might have been published without proper scientific peer review. So again, this is quantum computing is very complicated, and it may have been premature, and so what was on that white paper hasn't even been verified. So there's some concern on the validity of it. So what do we need to know? Well, there's two algorithms in play for the Bitcoin architecture. There's an ECDSA, okay, so that's what it uses for the digital signatures, and then the SHA-256 is the hash function. If you reuse a wallet address, which is considered bad practice even from the get-go, you can actually expose a way to your private key using what's called Shor's algorithm. I won't get into that in this one here, but it is theoretically possible. So yes, a quantum computer could do that. That's why it's good practice to always use a new public address when you're accepting payments. So really, what are the realities though of quantum computers being able to break that encryption? So most accept the fact that it probably won't happen during this decade. And also, keep in mind, Bitcoin can fork, and there's work being done on quantum resistant protocols. So this isn't like, Bitcoin can't change and eventually succumb to this. Most likely the scenario will be that if that starts to come to pass, the Bitcoin development community will come up with a solution, and then the miners and node operators will elect to fork to a quantum resistant code. But to get to what the current day risk would be, Google's machine is 53 quantum bits, or what they call qubits. Okay, a 160-bit elliptical curve cryptographic key could be broken on a quantum computer using around 1,000 qubits, while factoring the security-wise equivalent 1024-bit RSA modulus would require about 2,000 qubits. Google's measly 53 qubits are still no match for this kind of cryptography. And then this is a theoretical threat, assuming that you've reused your address. Now, SHA-256 cryptographic hash is a different thing altogether, and the amount of computational power needed to crack it is greater than the wildest speculation of what intelligence agencies might have, assuming they even have quantum computers, which, the latest cutting edge stuff, 53 qubits. There's been some talk of other people having achieved higher power than that, but again, for brief periods of time, because it takes a lot of power to run these. It's just, we're a ways off, guys, in reality. So while the native encryption algorithms used by Bitcoin and other proof of work coins are safe for now, the fact is the rate of advancements in quantum technology is increasing, and that could in time pose a threat. However, there are already companies and research teams working on a new cryptographic algorithm for a post-quantum era. And with that in mind, it may not be a bad idea to start thinking about a potential Bitcoin hard fork in a few decades that improves its quote-unquote weak security algorithm. So it has industrial strength security algorithm, but yes, in time that could be considered weak. But we're talking a long time. In fact, here's a graphic that I pulled And basically what it is, it's looking at if we were to increase the computational power of quantum computers by 30% a year, your peak probability for the number of years it would take to crack Bitcoin's ECDSA algorithm, which is how you would get the private key, would take peak probability is around 25 years. Now, if you increase the number of qubits, the processing power by 50% a year, that would take it down to under 20 years, somewhere between 15 and 20 years. And if you made leaps and bounds progress, increasing the computational power by 70% per year on quantum computers, you'd be somewhere between 10 and 15 years. So even at the most aggressive, leap forwards in technology and, increasing computational power of quantum computers by a whole lot, and we're a long ways off from that, you're still looking at minimum like a decade out, but probably more like 2 decades out. So there's a ton of time. Nothing is immediately under threat. These are very, very secure algorithms that are protecting the Bitcoin private addresses as well as the hashing function. So really no need to worry. And in time, there will be quantum resistant protocols that can be implemented, and Bitcoin can fork to those. So there's your take on that, guys. No need to worry about Google's quantum computing power yet. We got time. Until then, let's enjoy Bitcoin and its inflation resistant qualities and watch as it shocks and awes the world. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe. Please subscribe to our channel. It really helps. I will see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.
Trade Genius.